Nuclear war, cyber warfare, what Trump is talking about, the files. Stop worrying about all that. It's time to reclaim our focus. Start focusing on you. Welcome to T-Foy. My name is Kyle. Today we're going to talk about what's actually going on, how it's affecting us, and how we can reclaim our focus. In order to create the fulfilling life that we want, that we desire for our future selves, we have to stay focused. We have to reclaim our focus. Many people aged 18 to 40 report that they're living in a high state of stress due to economic hardship, political conflicts, stuff happening in the world, social fragmentation. Those are some of the major things that dominate their concerns. So much division between countries, groups of people, wars happening, people truly suffering in other countries due to these horrible events taking place. All these evil things, crazy information being released about these files and what the political leaders are doing, as well as, the UFO and the UAP phenomenon. They're just disclosing all the information they have about that now. People are arguing about this, and this group is attacking that group about that idea, and now AI is going to take over our jobs in 2 years. So it's clear that we're feeling scared, we're feeling anxious, we're worried about our futures. What is tomorrow gonna bring? What's next year gonna look like? We're anxious and disturbed about what's going on in the world. In order to feel fulfilled in our lives, we need to reclaim our focus and where our attention is going. We need to keep our minds in the present moment. Watching negative news and listening to negative things going on in the world is not going to help with that. Famous philosopher, there's no way you haven't heard of him, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius said, "Confine yourself to the present. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it when you have to, and you'll use the same weapons of reason which you use against the present moment." Basically meaning you're going to deal with the future in the future. You're going to deal with it in that moment. You got to focus on this moment. With the same tools you're using in this moment, you will deal with it in that moment. Anxiety is thinking and projecting yourself into the future. Strength is the mastery of the present moment. Let me say, bro, we are getting this information blasted into our eyes consistently every day. This research center in the United States called the Pew, P-E-W Research Center, did a study on 8 to 10,000 random participants aged 18 and up and asked them, how do they hear about the news? Generally, how do they receive news? 53% to 54% of them said that they get their news on social media. So what is social media, man? Why is it such a machine for the news? What is this virtual world that we're spending so much time giving our attention to? See, I've been on Instagram since I was 12 years old, man, back in 2012. We all know how to use it. We all know that we can watch interesting videos on there. We can learn things on there. We can communicate with our friends and share content with our friends on there. We all know that we can become an influencer, become someone that creates content and make money doing that. And all these social media platforms are free to use. Well, why is that? It's because social media platforms, say Instagram or Meta or any social media platform, they make profit off of our attention. Then businesses or people with services or products they're trying to sell will pay Instagram in order to put their ads in front of you. So if I had a product or a business, I could pay Meta to put my ads and advertise my ads to you. So social media, it's literally just a marketing platform. And they've created it in a way that satisfies, biologically and psychologically satisfies our social needs. Not for real, but just to the bare minimum, just enough to satisfy our social needs. As a user, and I'm a user of these, I'm trying to use them much less, but I am still using Instagram and stuff like that. As a user, you can see the algorithm will put the sorts of videos in front of you in your feed that keep you on there. The types of videos that you like to see, with its primary goal to keep you engaged on the platform. Well, then content creators or influencers like myself will be rewarded when they make content that keeps you engaged and on the platform. They'll be rewarded by receiving payments for their videos or allowing their videos to reach larger audiences. The content creators are going to make the content, they're going to get the views, they're going to get the likes. That's going to make them feel good and accepted, right? They're going to feel socially accepted. So Instagram is rewarding them with this free acceptance to continue making the content to keep you engaged. Social media is such a machine for pushing the negative news, the breaking news, the news that makes us double take like, whoa, that happened. So we stay on the app longer. We are wired to pay attention to the things that can threaten us or bring famine or lack in our future. Younger users such as Gen Z, which is my generation. I mean, there's lots younger generations than mine now on social media, but we'll talk my generation. I was born in '99. My generation, Gen Z, averages over 1 hour a day on Instagram. I've had phases where I've went on my iPhone settings and checked to see how much time I was spending on Instagram. And some days, like back in December, I re-downloaded Instagram for some reason, and for a reason that I needed. And I found some days I was clocking 4 hours on there. For a few weeks, 4 hours on Instagram. And that's super easy, you know, like you have a break at work, you scroll. You're eating your dinner, you scroll. You're on the toilet, you scroll. 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes. You watch a movie for bed, you know, you scroll for 20 minutes. This is time consuming. Think about if you're just on Instagram for 1 hour a day. The average is just over 1 hour a day for my generation. That's 7 hours a week. 365 hours a year. What if you use 365 hours of that year in the gym, doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, going for a walk? What if you use 7 hours out of your week to pray, to meditate, to draw, to journal, to do things that calm our minds instead of flood our brains? You know, 20 years ago, we would receive the news basic, right? We'd have to turn the radio. Oh wait, we had television then 20 years ago. Yeah, what am I talking about? We'd either have to tune into the news channel on the television or tune the radio to the right channel or open a newspaper. You know, like 100 years ago, we'd have to open a newspaper. And same thing was happening then, you know, they'd put the big breaking news stories right on the top of the newspapers and then followed by the advertisements. Oh, this person's selling this car, or this house is for sale, this business is new in your city, or, you know, things like that. News for you to know what's going on, to see what's happening, to, whoa, shocking. And then advertisements around it. Same thing. Instead of nowadays, what's different is we're not just like going to see the news because we want to go see the news. So many of us, like myself, I don't go and watch the news. I don't really want to know, but I still use social media for the reasons of connecting with my friends, connecting with people, watching funny videos, stupid AI videos, or dog videos, cats dancing, stuff like that. And I'm still getting flooded with the negative news. It's involuntary going into your eyes if you're using social media. As you're scrolling, you know, you're scrolling or you're watching your videos that you enjoy, and suddenly it slaps you with a nuclear bomb heading your way. Bro, you know, you're gonna stop. You're gonna maybe scroll back, you know, you're gonna double take. Whoa, what? Like what? Because naturally we're going to do that. And as soon as you show that platform that this video held your attention or got you to look back or scroll back or stay and watch the video, it's going to reinforce that type of content because it determined that that content held your attention. As we consume negative or stressful media, our cortisol levels increase. That's a stress hormone. And even when we're done watching that video, or we put our phones down and we go do something else, we still remain in that state of stress for some time. Multiple psychological studies have indicated that the more exposure we have to negative media, the higher rates of anxiety and depression. So in order to build the life of fulfillment that we want, in order to reclaim our focus, because what you focus on is primarily basically what your reality is going to be. What you focus your energy towards, your eyes towards, your thoughts towards, is what you're going to do and what your life is going to become and feel like. In order to reclaim our focus, we need to stop consuming negative media. We need to stop watching the news, man. Someone might say, oh, I need to know what's happening. I need to be informed. No, you don't need to. Does it pertain to your reality right now? For some, it might, You might have family in a different country that is at war. In that case, it's good that you know. And what if something happens in a different country, or something happens in your community which is going to cause problems where you are, or increase the prices of the price of living, like food and gas and stuff like that? Well, you know what? If it happens, then it's happening either way, and you're gonna have to deal with it when it happens, right? So watching the news to constantly talking about oh, this might happen, and oh, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna cause this, and if this happens, then this is probably what we're gonna see, and it's endless. It's just endless. I'm sorry I'm ranting here, but you can choose peace. There's more peace in just living in the moment and not worrying about the future. I'm not trying to be insensitive, people's lives matter. In the places right now we have in the world where there's horrible things happening in Ukraine, in Palestine, what's happening between Israel and Palestine down there in the Gaza Strip, the politics and the rulers, I don't even want to talk about that. At the end of the day, war is war and people are dying. That's not good. So you know what? The evil should be exposed. The media should expose the evil things. It's good that it's exposed. See, I'm talking to the person that has a roof over their head. Hopefully you do. You know where your next meal is going to be. You're living probably in Canada or the United States, and you're safe generally. You don't have buildings getting blown up across the street. You don't have gangs running around, militias running around, Taliban running around and knocking on your door and breaking down your door. You're generally living safer, and you have way more opportunities here in North America. If we're constantly giving our energy to the drama taking place somewhere else, then it leaves us with less energy to focus on enjoying and building our lives. Disconnecting, not caring. I'm not saying don't care. I'm saying reclaim your focus so you can aim your energy on making your life more positive, making the lives of those around you now more positive. Do you just want to be somebody that sits around crying about what's happening and sulking and feeling stunned by what's happening? Or do you want to be a person that can go out and make a difference in people's lives? I'm going to hit you with a quote from the wisest one that ever walked on this earth. But before that, I have a question for you. What is your dream? What do you want to accomplish in your life? And what's it going to take in order for that to happen? If you're still here, write it down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to. Matthew 6:34, Jesus said, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." We have enough troubles in the present moment. Stop over-consuming the negative news. Make the positive changes that you need to make. And don't forget to stay authentic. Thank you for watching.